Which reprobate is going to lead us off first?
It'll be me. Of course it's me. Albie, A for Albie, is first. So later on tonight, it is the Eurovision Song Contest over in Malmo. And typically, our UK's Eurovision entrant, Olly Alexander, is so disgraced by our great Union flag that he thinks it's nationalistic and divisive. I say, make pop stars patriotic again. Who can remember that amazing performance that the Spice Girls did back in 1997 where Jerry Halliwell wore that fantastic Union flag dress? How times have changed. I wish we could go back to a time where our great flag wasn't seen as something which was divisive. It was seen as something which was unifying. And someone who's representing Britain on the international stage at the Eurovision Song Contest, like Olly Alexander, should be proud to bear the Union flag.
Yeah.
Nicky Hobson, you are replacing Benjamin Butterworth this evening, as you well know. It is your ilk, lefties, that have a problem with this amazing flag. Why?
Well, I did just want to correct your pop history for a while there, because actually, think about the Sex Pistols, they distorted the Union Jack. And then further back in the 60s, some of the 60s pop bands like the Kinks, etc. There's actually been a long history of our pop stars saying no.
Yeah, but we're only born in the 90s, so this doesn't
Well, I realise, I'm much older than you guys. But, I mean, are you not a proper pop star if you don't challenge the status quo? Isn't it that's what it's actually about? It's not because they don't love their country or care about their country. It's just because they're trying to kick up a fuss to look cool and different, and they have to kind of like separate themselves from...
Last year, the Eurovision entrant for Britain, May Muller, said she hated Britain. That's not being anti-establishment, that's just being rude.
Well, it's been silly when you're supposed to be representing the country. Why do it otherwise? I kind of do take your point on that. But I do think that, you're just expecting too much of them. Like, they don't have to think for us, they just have to sing and dance for us.
They're just kids, Albie.
Olly Alexander's the same age as you.
How old is he?
About 30, mid-30s.
I'm 18 next week. 30s? I'm joking. No, they're just, as Nicky alluded to, they're just young. I mean, Olly might be 34, but he's clearly a very immature guy, which is a shame because I love Years and Years. I've seen them live at festivals. I thought he was great. I thought the band was great, top tunes. But there just seems to be this trendy thing where if you self-loathe the country you're from, then you seem to be in with the kids. I think actually these guys, people like Olly and May Muller, they've got it too easy. Life is too easy, so they just look for something to kind of rail against because they've got nothing else, important going.
This is a Brit Award-nominated pop star, Alex Armstrong. Do you think that when he next gets nominated for a Brit Award, he'll have to reject it because of the nationalistic and divisive word Brit?
No, because do you know what I think it is? Look, he's part of the LGBTQIA plus something community, right?
The alphabet
spaghetti mafia, right? So I think he's been properly indoctrinated by them, a bit like Sam Smith, right? He just comes out with nonsense, but I think it's part of his gig now to be anti-British flag, because I don't even think he understands what he's saying, because I don't think half these pop stars are political. They've got too much money and way too much spare time on their hands to be political.
Why is it cool?
So because I think it's part of that political agenda. And
what political agenda?
If he says, no, I'm very proud to be British, he'll have his alphabet spaghetti people come after him and he'll lose some of the people that are streaming his music.
But Jerry Halliwell did it very effectively, Darren.
This is a sickness that, over the last decade or so, infected the West. It's not just isolated to Britain. There is a narrative that says that hating your country is the progressive thing to do, and I think the left have got a real case to answer there for being utterly negligent and actually pretty harmful when it comes to actually speaking up for the values that this country represents. It wasn't too long ago we saw in Hong Kong people flying the Union Jack, British nationals overseas, saying, actually, when we have the jackboot of President Xi at our throat, we want to be flying this flag and remember the values that were here when the British were actually our, well, I guess you would call it the modern language, oppressors. And actually, we were their liberators. So all of these things, I think, it just comes down to the fact that the BBC are part of this agenda. They hate this country, and they keep selecting candidates that also hate this country.
I mean, the BBC would really refute saying you would say that the BBC hates this country. What evidence do you have to say that the BBC hates this country?
Tweeted she saying, I hate this country. That's pretty clear as day. And this candidate today, this time around, this year, says that he isn't proud to fly the Union Jack because it's nationalistic.
Nikki, what do you think?
No. I just think it's about children in pop wanting to rail against...
These aren't children.
But they are, because they're so
They
mature.
are.
I think, they haven't got life experience. They're just happy to be kind of singing and dancing on TV and for people to look at them. And that's all it's about. And they just think, I have to be a bit different. I have to be a little bit cool. And the only way I can do that is just to, pretend that I don't believe in the status quo.
Can I just say,
it's that simple.
I'm happy for Olly Alexander to do his thing if it means we haven't got something akin to the Irish entry, which is like very demonic and satanic.
I think it's demonic in its own way. Have you seen what he's doing for his act? He's dancing in a bathroom. Is it a bathroom? Or meant to be like some sort of sauna with a bunch of blokes touching him and rubbing him. I was like,
That's not highly British. What are you talking about?
Oh, what is it? I don't know.
Traditional.
That's not my week. I certainly don't look like that. I don't know what Benjamin would do anymore with saunas.
An exclusive on Nikki Hodgson.
No. I think from the point of being a dating historian and knowing all about that stuff, it's been around
took a long
forever.
time in that bathroom.